I keep seeing these matrix perspectives, and I got a whole different one. So the matrix is the illusion. It's Maya, straight out of Hermeticism, Gnosticism, and Eastern metaphysics, bro. So check this out. In Hermetic law, reality has layers, dog. What you see is never the source, similar to what they show you on the news and media. But let's keep going. The matrix isn't fake because it's digital. It's fake because it's the incomplete truth, just like everything they hand you, bro. I want you to think about your German education, bro. Creating producers instead of creators. You see what I'm saying? But let's keep going. As above, so below. So the digital world is a mirror of real life hierarchies, right? The illusion don't make it unreal, right? Just because it's fake, it means it's misdirected. It has to come from something real, just like the devil manipulating everything God created. The matrix feeds you just enough truth to function, not enough to escape, similar to your 9 to 5. Jobs that don't build legacy, news that informs you, but it never empowers you, education that trains you to be obedient. From the bell, teacher to teacher, box to box, it's all boxes. They don't train actual perception, right? So this is called perception management. They manage your brain. This is also called narrative enclosure. They create boxes filled with these narratives to enclose your perspective, which creates synthetic normalcy. Do you understand? Now, Morpheus is not a rebel leader. He's an initiator. In ancient mystery schools, truth was never given, bro. It was offered to you, right? Now you got to bend over on some P. Diddy just to get some esoteric Masonic knowledge. What the fuck? Anyway, Morpheus never forces Neo. He never convinces Neo. He tests the readiness of Neo. The red pill is not truth at all, bro. It's basically taking on the cross. It's bearing the burden. It's literally responsibility. That's all it was. He was responsible for fighting the matrix when everybody else was asleep, bro. Knowledge without readiness destroys the student. How? Because you're going to embark a path that you ain't equipped to deal with. Duh. That's why most people can't be woken up. You can't just wake somebody up. The real truth about life is don't ever disturb people's delusions or echo chambers, bro. Not unless they ask. You will create Agent Smith. They don't lack intelligence. They lack physiological tolerance to the truth, which is why they rebel, which is why they fight you, bro. Seriously, which is why relationships get destroyed, bro. I mean, look, let me give y'all a mind control tactic. How many of y'all ended friendships with people who didn't vote for Trump? Now look at all you idiots. Okay, so people ask for truth and then they panic when it costs them comfort, right? Or y'all create catchphrases like right message, wrong messenger. What the fuck are y'all talking about? Take the message. You see what I'm saying? Everybody wants the map. Nobody wants the actual journey. Similar to working out. A lot of you lazy MFers, bro, y'all want the end result. You don't want to go through the pain and the sacrificing of refined sugars that are just as addictive as cocaine, which explains why you can't break the habit. Let's keep going. Agent Smith wasn't never really evil either, from my perspective, right? He's a function of the matrix. How can you be evil inside of a system that created you? Just like God creating the devil, but we ain't, again, there's Christian indoctrination, slave work, and then there's actual true thought. Okay, let's keep going though. Smith hates humans because they are unpredictable, right? He calls humanity a virus, bro, right? But the system thinks this way as well. The system thinks like the humans do. He multiplies because systems scale faster than individuals. So what does he do? He figured out that this is the system, and he was able to infect the system by infecting each individual that was a summation of the system in their own right. You see what I'm saying? Thus, he was able to spread his virus quicker than the matrix can spread their virus. Okay, so now, where's the mirror to this? Algorithms, HR departments, social credit logic, right? Cancel culture mechanics. Oh my God, the cancel culture mechanics, bro. Straight up, let's normalize shutting that up. Okay, now, the moment you threaten the narrative, the system does not argue. It replicates opposition. I want you to think about the parasitic dung beetles online trying to absorb each other's following, always creating arguments, but you don't want a pistol on you for real. You see what I'm saying? Now, look, this is called algorithmic enforcement. They put their little agents, they insert their agents, their paid agents, right, into the matrix to oppose you and try to absorb you. This is also being authoritarian, but it's the soft core version, right? And then this is sanitized tyranny. So how do you sanitize tyranny, bro? You don't actually enforce people. You create illusions of choice, okay? And then you insert your agent to do your bidding, right? And you do it in a clean way, and bombard them with enough agents that way they get absorbed and destroyed and their voice gets swallowed up in algorithmic control. Neo was not chosen because he's special. Okay. He's special because he stops outsourcing his authority. So he stops giving the Matrix authority over him and he starts controlling it. That's why he was special, bro. Now, the Oracle tells him what he already knows. Prophecy is a psychological hack. Literally, it was a psychological hack. She used reverse psychology on him, hit him in the subconscious. He was able to consciously make some different decisions. The one is anyone who sees clearly and acts anyway. So you can see clearly that you're fighting a losing battle. You can see clearly that you're one of the only ones with this type of power, and you still fight anyway. This is the Jesus effect. Okay, so the Oracle is like a Delphi priestess archetype. She doesn't predict, she frames perception. Free will disguised as fate. Okay, so where's the mirror? People waiting for leaders. Every time a leader pop up, not just celebrity culture, bro. Like literally, people have been trained to wait for leaders. Just like y'all waiting for Jesus to hop down off of a cloud versus you fighting evil that's running this world. Let's keep going. Then, right, you got messianic politics. Then you got influencers replacing elders, but they're inserted by the Matrix. Zion was never liberation, bro. It was a pressure valve for what was going on. The architect admits Zion is controlled. Revolutions are permitted. They're not accidental. Controlled rebellion stabilizes empires, bro. They were all controlled opposition. That's just the hard truth, bro. So now most resistance movements are contained ecosystems. Excuse me. And that's another hard truth. That's a hard pill to swallow. Your control ecosystem. They know you exist. They're permitting you until you become a big enough nuisance to actually compel them to want to destroy you. That's the reality. They burn energy without changing the actual structure. So this is culture wars. This is performative activism. This is endless outrage cycles, right? And outrage content. People who say dumb shit like Michael B. Jordan didn't deserve an award over Timothy Chalamet. And it's an Asian chick saying this crap. What? Anyway. This is a loud opposition. You see what I'm saying? These people are permitted to exist. And I say we remove that permission. Now, the architect is not God at all. He's middle management. He speaks in logic, not wisdom. He doesn't understand choice, only probability. And he admits anomalies are expected in the Matrix, right? So what is the hermetic lesson in all of this? Systems never collapse from rebellion. They collapse from miscalculation, dog. Straight up. Now, where's the society mirror, bro? Bureaucracies that outlive their purpose, they become, well, dead. Okay, corporations optimize until they collapse from within. This is real life, bro. AI without ethics is only efficiency. So it's Vecna. Do you see the mirror, bro? Now look, the real Matrix doesn't need cables either, bro. Identity is programmable. It's your ego. Desire is engineered. They tell you what you want and what is successful. Right, what you should strive towards, and fear is monetized. Thus, so many fear dopamine loop channels, bro. Now, modern tools of control, again, dopamine loops, infinite scrolling, outrage addiction, and comfort dependency. People who are looking validation seekers. Do you see how all of these people not only are getting exploited, they should be if you're that stupid, right? Somebody has to be a pillar to somebody else's success. And I say it should be the NPCs and the delusional people, the people who choose to be delusional. It's weird. You don't need change when people are addicted to the cage itself. People are addicted to their own dopamine loops in their own echo chambers, their own delusions, bro. They don't want to see the truth, bro. So you don't have to be honest. The Matrix Resurrections wasn't bad. It was honest, bro. Right? It shows you what? Nostalgia as containment. Reboots as memory loops and comfort over truth. So where's the real life meta message, right? Even rebellion can be commodified. It's literally, bro, even awakening can be franchised, okay? So the Matrix never needed machines, right? It needed agreement, okay? And the scariest truth is this. Most people aren't trapped. They're really just invested.